Is that character called Purcell?
No, it's a Hustle.
Oh, Hustle.
It did sound a bit like Purcell.
The con is on. I thought you can't say that about a leading soap brand.
No.
Kylie and Minogue is here with us in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Kylie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
You look lovely. You smell good.
I like the Anne Minogue.
Yeah, well, that's your name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, no, what? What's up? Do you ever get called Anne?
No.
Your parents ever call you Kylie Ann Minogue?
No.
When you've been naughty?
My grandfather used to. My step-grandfather, he's from Kentucky. He'd say, Kylie Ann.
Is he really from Kentucky?
That's right.
What a strike. I didn't know that. So you've got American relatives as well?
Step-relatives, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, obviously they're not that close. You can see she keeps adding the step, making sure we know. Don't come knocking.
No, they're more Welsh and Irish.
Oh, you're making it up now.
It's true.
Stop trying to impress us.
My mother's from Wales.
Is she really?
She's a Jones.
And she was deported to Australia when?
Just after she stole those little chocolates.
So you have Welsh relatives then?
Yeah.
Is that... Cause Minogue isn't a Welsh, that's from your dad, presumably,
I think that's Irish.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
No,
is Irish,
look, I didn't start this.
So you're Kentucky, Irish, Welsh, Australian. What a mix.
Yes. What an exotic brew.
I'm surprised you're not just sort of collapsing all the time. You seem to be like the hardest working woman in show business.
Possibly.
They do work you hard, don't they?
Well, I am collapsing slightly.
Are you?
Hence the
You're a bit
gentle lean on the bench here.
Oh,
I'm tired, but this is what I do, and some days you've got to pull it out of the reserve.
I know that feeling.
So a day off, I spring back pretty well. I just need a day off.
And so what do you do? How do you keep yourself energetic? How do you keep yourself well and stuff like that? Because someone like you, if you get a cold, if you get a bad throat thing, there's been so many nasty things going on recently, presumably that's it. It really throws, a spanner in the works and you have to cancel stuff. So how do you make sure that you stay healthy?
Just try and eat well and sleep well. What are you doing?
Sorry, I was queuing up a CD.
That was...
And it creaks like...
that shows you in a bad light.
I was trying to be subtle.
Kylie's just opening up there about herself, and these, obviously these aren't the big questions yet. We're just easing in there.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
you're
we could
fiddling
skip
with
those
No,
ones,
I
in
was
fact.
curious. Do you eat any in particular? Because I'm really, as I get older, I'm worried about getting things like colds. Because these days they kill you, and it's sort of like a bit
I have
scary.
enough trouble remembering to take my multivitamin each day. So
Do you believe in vitamin? Because I don't think they do anything vitamin.
Yeah, I think echinacea is good. That's a good one.
Bless
A bit
you.
of vitamin C.
I thought you sneezed. I'm sorry. That's a terrible joke. I apologise. Hey, Kylie, how was Valentine's Day for you? Did you do anything special?
I'm afraid I didn't because I was travelling back from
See, that's no fun.
America to here.
Well, what's the point?
I know. Well,
Are you with someone at the moment? I can't keep up.
yes, I am.
All right. Well, I don't know. A nice fella?
You're such a busy man as well. You can't know everything about everything, although you know most things about a lot of things.
Wow, whatever that means, I agree with you. I had a lovely Valentine's Day, thanks for asking. Although we had a blazing row the night before.
Oh.
Huge row. Next day...
That's so you could kiss and make up. the
Well,
next
I don't
day.
think so, but we did have probably the most romantic Valentine's we've ever had.
What did you do?
How was that? Sex. But, loving, not angry. No, we had a really lovely night out in a hotel and we had a meal and stuff. It was really lovely, and it was, I think, after we've been married now for 37 years, that's pretty good.
No.
Oh, 15, but it feels that way. Andy, good Valentine's for you?
I took my wife on the Eye, and we've never been on the London Eye.
Right.
Yeah, and then we went for a meal.
Oh, you had a meal after
It's
school.
really-
I thought that was it. Well, no, I thought that was it. I thought you took on a
The
fun
9
fair
o'clock,
type
the
wine
9
and then
o'clock
home.
ride, the 9 o'clock ride on the Eye.
The 9 o'clock ride on the Eye. Well, no, that's nice. That was quite beautiful, seeing London.
Yeah, it
Heard that
was.
before you. Okay. Where do you live now, Kylie?
Here, supposedly.
You live here in the
All
UK?
my things are in London.
Is you kind of like West London, aren't you? Is that right?
Southwest London. yeah.
Southwest London. Okay, but you don't, I would have thought, get to spend that much time at home.
Not so much at the moment, but enough. And I've been here for a long time now, since I started coming here in 88.
Yeah.
And probably got my first apartment around 1991.
So you came over after Neighbours.
Mm-hmm.
Did you come here to do panto first, or did you come straight in to do the pop?
I've never even been to a panto.
Well, stick around. You and me next year. Come on.
Yeah!
That's
Which
it.
one could we do?
Panto's meant to be good. We can do Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
I'll be the boots. But Pando's meant to be fun, because that was traditionally the route out of Neighbours, wasn't
Yeah,
it, Cindy?
yeah.
We'd come over here and do that. So you went straight into pop then, with Stockcake and Waterman. And really, you haven't looked back, but you had a period in the middle where the kind of pop career fizzled out, didn't it, for a while then?
The wilderness years,
Yeah.
they've been named, yeah.
So what happened then? What was that about?
I think I just lost my way for a bit. I was lacking some guidance and went a bit experimental, which I think benefited me in the end. because it wasn't that successful. It was critically, it did pretty well, but no ka-ching.
Yeah.
So went back to Australia where it did do well and got back into touring, and that's really brought me up to doing all the live shows that I've done of late. So it was a blessing in disguise.
And the live shows, I've never seen you live, but I've seen footage of live
Jonathan!
shows. Well, you never invited me.
Really?
We should
You've
come and see
never
you live.
come to a show.
Well, they won't let me into the Astoria on gay nights.
No,
I'm
but
too
you could
clearly a heterosexual man to be allowed in.
There's heterosexual men. Others
I would
there.
love to go and see you. Do you still? That's where you played last time
Saturday
you were in town,
week.
wasn't it? Where are you playing?
GAY.
GAY. Do you call it GAY? But that's gay, isn't it? It's gay night.
Well, yes.
Well, calling it GAY isn't fooling anyone.
Y.
It's like you're treating him like a 6-year-old. If we spell it out, he won't know what he's getting himself into. I'll come Saturday week. Yeah, not this coming Saturday. It's Saturday after.
What are we to do?
It's Saturday today.
No, it's Saturday today, next week.
Next Saturday. I'm away next Saturday.
Oh,
I can't come next Saturday.
darn.
I'm off to cover the Oscars.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to get you to one
Well,
of
I'd like
my
to come
shows.
along. Do you come?
Be it gay or not, Jonathan.
Do you pop out of the floor? Do you appear in a champagne glass? Do you ride on a
I
bucking
do all
bronco?
those things, yeah.
Because they're quite elaborate sometimes, aren't they?
Yeah.
And do you plan-
Sometimes we have to make it look as elaborate as we can with about a 15p budget, but we make something happen.
Hey, did you watch the Brits this week?
No, I was away.
You're away? Okay, we can't talk about that. Have you been watching Back to Reality on Channel 5?
No.
That's off my list of things to talk about as well, then.
Sorry. I got the first week of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and then I had to be wrenched
That was
away
good
from
fun.
that. Had to go and work.
All right, let me ask you about when you're over here. Do you miss things about Australia still, or do you not feel Australian?
Family.
You don't miss things like, because most Australians over here, we have an Australian friend. My wife knows him more than me. This fella who's over here, and he misses Tim Tams,
Oh, yeah. Tim Tams straight out of the fridge.
cherry ripe. These weird things. They're kind of
Violet crumble.
Violet
Ingrid
crumble.
misses.
Yeah, this VC bar. You know you can buy them here in London.
Yeah.
You didn't
And
know that.
some cheesy crisp things. I can't remember what they're
When
called.
you said, yeah,
Twisties.
did that mean you knew that. Well, what's the difference? They're the same virtues as the ones we have. It's not quite as good, but essentially they're the same.
Well, we could get into a debate about
Vegemite.
that.
Okay, that's essentially Marmite without the bite, isn't it?
It's a kind of more sour version.
Is it?
You need an Australian. It's the complete experience. You
I think
need
it's
an Australian to. I will make you some Vegemite on
See,
toast.
you keep coming out with the big promises.
That's about the one thing I can cook.
Okay, here's what we want to do then. I'll come and see you live if, during the live show, you stop halfway through and bring me a Vegemite sandwich.
Hang on a second, just got to put the toaster on.
We can dress it up a bit. I mean, you can have a couple of skinny black guys carry you over on a large puff if you want, and then give it to me. We'll make you part
All
of the... No one need notice but us. Also, halfway through a gig sometimes, I get a bit pecky.
I do too.
Yeah, you must do. You're burning
Well,
up the
do you know what
calories.
I do? When I do the big shows, the 2-hour concerts, I have oysters in the middle of the show.
Hey, come on. Oysters.
Yeah.
To extra energy.
Because I've got about -2 seconds in which to change my quick changes.
And you're slipping down.
I neck a couple of oysters, and that just gives me a little bit of protein and energy to get through the show.
Isn't that risky?
Well, it could be, but
Because you get bad
nonetheless,
oyster.
I do it.
You know, your backing singer's going to know about it. that is a high risk.
It's a really efficient way
Yeah.
to
I love an oyster. Presumably, then you just swallow them down. You don't chew them.
don't chew.
Do you ever chew oysters?
Prefer not to.
Yeah. Andy?
I don't like oysters.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
Why?
Well, because you're not very sophisticated. It's true, though, isn't it? How many is the most oysters you've eaten in one sitting? Not obviously during a gig, obviously. You sat down. Because you're a pretty tiny person, aren't you?
Well, I'm tiny, but you can get... Depends which oysters you're eating.
The smaller ones. Colchester oysters.
Smaller ones, I could do 8. That's not so many.
30.
30?
30 I've managed.
God, this is riveting stuff, isn't
Really?
it?
Yeah.
And I think...
Hello, listeners.
There are oyster fishermen
Yeah,
who
they're-
are so excited
Yeah.
to steer the conversation this way.
Shouting, 35!
I love an oyster.
Yeah.
Do you find, oysters meant to have aphrodisiac qualities?
Yeah,
Do you find that?
they can have.
Is that a yes or
I
no,
think-
Miss Minogue?
Do I have to?
When you've had your oysters, do you feel,
I feel
romantic?
when I have had the first oyster, it is quite an experience. It's
Yeah.
a gastronomic experience which turns into some kind of
It's
emotional.
sensuous.
There's something.
That's
Now,
romantic.
people only had to listen to that. I had to watch. Watch
It's
that
stuck in my
reenactment.
windpipe, love. Give it on the back. Give us the old behind.
You're
Into a
right.
tissue. Yeah, you see, you've got to get in with me before the 25th one if you want any action. Because after that, I'm good for nothing.
It's all over. It's all about timing.
It's not so much the oysters as the bread I eat with them. Let's put another single. Now, what do you like listening to? What sort of music do you like? Because your stuff is sort of dance, isn't it? The music you record, it's dance and pop.
I'm not listening to much at all at the moment. I haven't had time to stop and...
What about Australian bands? Are you familiar with Jet?
I'm not, but I'm
they're
excited that you have them in.
They're a great band. We should maybe, have we got that? Let's put a Jet track on
Can they
now.
come in early?
No, they can't come in.
Where are they?
They're not here yet.
Hang on.
They're
Should we
probably,
play the-
no, they're a rock band. They're probably still in bed. Let's have a listen to, which track should we play?
I'll play the Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
That was a great single. Here we go. This is Jet. They're from Melbourne.
All the way
Australia.
from Melbourne.
Where in Australia are you from? Are you from Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Okay, well, you say it like that. You could have come from the other big city in Australia. What's it called?
Sydney.
There you go. You could have come from there.
Here we go.
This is Jet. That's good, isn't it? What do you think, Kyles?
Great.
Do Kyles? Is that okay to call you Kyles? Is that what I just
Yeah.
sort of popped out there? When you play live, now I haven't seen you live. We've established this. I'd love to see you live. Do you do any old songs? Do you do Locomotion or I Should Be So Lucky?
I did Locomotion just last week, and I will be doing that next week.
Oh, that must be fun.
But it's this souped up kind of
Of course.
Prince funk version. It's so much fun to perform because I avoided that and Lucky for so long, and now I really...
You could do Lucky as a kind of mournful song, couldn't you?
Done that. If
Oh.
you'd been to one of my shows, you would have seen that.
We've established that, have you? You've already chastised me for this. That would be good. Okay, let me throw you some more ideas. How about you do it as a techno-wave dance number?
I've done that as well.
For God's sake, I feel kind of embarrassed now. Hey, I went to Madame Tussauds a while ago.
And?
Well, it's quite alarming seeing your bottom sticking right up in your face like that.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
and
I
as
don't blame
much
you.
as I love Madame Tussauds and I'm so
This is the
chuffed
party
to
line
have
coming out now.
three waxworks there, but I think they're good. They just got a bit carried away.
What next, we wonder? Should we spread eagle having an examination?
No, stop.
It really is. So the children came in and said, why has that lady got a bum up in the air? I said, well, it's Kylie. You know, she's Australian. Over there, that sort of thing's done. It's like sort of sheep shearing season or something.
She was midway through a tumble.
Hey, but at least yours is a bit respectful. The one that's really freaky is the Britney Spears one. Because she's up on a lap dancing pole and she's got moving bosoms.
Has she?
And the rest of us still, yeah, and it's meant to be breathing,
Kind
I
of
think.
panting.
Looks like someone's got a foot pump attached. It's really not, it's just kind of not
How
respectful.
would you like to be in Madame Tussauds?
Suave.
Yeah?
Ideally, you know what I think would be a good one for me?
Maybe you could just have gentle spritz of whatever your aftershave is,
do you
your
like it?
scent. So as people waft by you, they're like,
I think
ooh,
ideally.
what was that?
I tell you what the nation would probably like to see is me in just a robe.
Really?
Perhaps a scandalously short robe. As though fresh from the bath. Hair tousled. Little bit of chest hair showing. The merest hint of back hair. Holding 2 chilled champagne glasses and a red rose clutched between my buttocks. That's what the ladies would like.
Sounds like a hit to me.
I think so, it would work. Did you have to go in and model for that one, though, or they just built that from kind
No,
of
I didn't.
memory and photographs?
What happened was they'd taken 3 elements that I had done. I had been in that particular pose in a photograph, which didn't look like that in 3D, I can assure you. And kind of put them all together.
Well,
So-
it's worth visiting. Let's go to the news and we'll chat to Kylie some more after this. 88 to 91 FM, this is Radio 2 from the BBC. That's the lovely Prince. You must be a Prince fan, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't come sniffing around you. He normally likes working, especially with small pop stars. He loves small
Well, I
pop
have
stars.
met him and I've visited Paisley Park and all of that.
You've been to Paisley Park. This was his
Yeah.
big recording studio in Minneapolis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's amazing. He's just, I mean, it was a long time ago. He's created this world. The bit that I was really fascinated by is the area where his clothes are made. And there's the mannequins, like,
Wow, tiny little mannequins.
like a
of course.
tailor's mannequin.
Yeah.
We're almost the same size.
And you're what, about 5 foot?
I'm about 4'3". No, I'm about 5 foot and a sniff.
5 foot and a sniff, and he's about 5 foot and a snifter.
And a snifter,
So you could swap clothes.
Yeah.
And shoes, presumably. You don't want that
Yeah.
in a man, though, do you? You don't want to, you don't want to come home and he's put on your thong and he goes, I thought it was
please.
mine, Kylie Ann.
No.
Let's talk about the ageing process, because neither of us are getting any younger, Kylie, let's be
We're
honest.
not, but
Okay. I'm 43
I
now.
didn't say it before, but I will say now, you're looking very well.
Hey, thank you for that. Although I've put on a lot of weight since Christmas.
You haven't.
I have. I put on
It's looking-
about 8 pounds. Easy.
Have you?
Mainly muscle. No, I have. Last night I had 4 Marmite toasted sandwiches immediately before going to bed. That can't be good, can it?
I like doing that sometimes. It's very comforting, isn't it? A bit of toast when you're just a little bit hungry before bedtime.
With lots of butter on. Do you like jacket potatoes?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta love a jacket potato. How many is the most jacket potatoes you've eaten once? Well, I mean,
one, Jonathan.
Just one. What's wrong with you?
I think I may have lied about the 8 oysters.
I think you've had more than 8.
Yeah, I think I have. I was really trying to come up with an honest answer.
You're a baker's dozen, if ever you were one. So what's happening? So how old are you now, Kylie?
35.
Oh, you're 35. I'm 43. How old are you, Andy?
38.
38. All right. What's going on your body so far? What's beginning to go now? Your knees, are they still solid?
Knees, well, everything's doing okay. I think just in general.
Eyesight?
Oh, eyesight, yeah. Well, I've had reading glasses for a while, but
mine's definitely going.
But I'm starting to, vitamin jars and things like that, shampoo bottles.
You can't read them.
Well, I've got to put them in the good light.
You want to make sure you don't mix up the conditioning cream with the toothpaste. I've done that with shaving cream one morning. It wasn't a pleasant experience. Yeah. Well, it didn't hurt so much. It just gave me a kind of like very shiny teeth, but they smelled a bit odd. There's nothing you can do about this, though. This is what's happening to us.
Not a great deal you can do. Just go with it. Roll with the punches.
Are you taking fish oil supplements yet?
Yes.
That's good for your bones.
I remember it once in a while.
Yeah.
Really, I've just got to get on track and start taking all of those things.
But I must admit, I am genuinely quite enjoying the ageing process. I'm not infirm yet. That's the thing. And I guess when you hit 50, you begin to slow down, and I'm going to feel it a bit more then. But these are the best years for me, I think.
It's going to take a lot to slow you down.
You've got it all ahead of you, young woman. But do you do exercises? Do you do Pilates and stuff like that, or yoga? How do you keep
I do the
supple?
most unconventional type of exercise. I don't do exercise as such, but just from doing shows, tours, photo sessions can leave me feeling like I've done about 8 hours of Pilates.
You should put something regular in your daily regime.
I know it. I berate myself about that all the time.
I can show you my downward facing dog if you'd like.
Now?
If you want to.
Go on.
Well, we'll put a record on. I need to get a bit supple first. But everything's good for you. Presumably you're going to keep doing this for what? Do you have a game plan? Do you know how much longer you're going to keep working this hard for?
Well, generally an album takes a year, so this album came out just before Christmas.
And this album is Body Language. Great photograph you on the cover, by the way.
Thank you.
Look at that. Looking a bit
we're
like
up to second single. I guess we'll do 3 or 4 singles from this. I'm not doing the big tour as I did with Fever and Light Years, but I think I'm feeling a few smaller gigs happening. I've really enjoyed just doing gigs as opposed to the big show. I'll do that later.
Yeah. And then, but in terms of the grand sort of scheme of things, because at the moment you're doing the kind of like, you're still competing admirably and successfully with, the newest pop acts on the market. And there's got to be a period when I would have thought, and I don't know whether Madonna's knowingly doing this, but you get the feeling Madonna is now kind of repositioning herself and saying, okay, I've got to go for an older crowd. And she's doing the last album, say, slightly more interesting stuff.
I think you have to. I mean, I realised the other day, I won a Grammy and had a toast with my manager, and we said, how long's it been now? And we realised it's 17 years that we've been together. So we had a little moment of pride and congratulations. I thought, wow, we're still here. And so after that long, you need to provide yourself with other challenges, and you do need to not only move with the times, but do something that's going to make it still stimulating for you. So, yeah, you do kind of, I don't know, you have to, like as you're saying Madonna did, do something
but do you ever
that works for you as well. Otherwise, before I know it, 30 years will have gone by.
Well, that's what I was saying. Do you ever worry that you've missed out on something here? Because, you've had a hugely successful career here. You've really done fantastic, unbelievably well. And yet you've worked. I know you've worked flat out for the last 4 or 5 years at least that I'm aware of, and probably before that as well. So those 4 or 5 years, they're gone. You ain't getting them back. I don't want to get you depressed here, but they're gone. They're not coming back, Kyles. That's it. They're gone. They're history. That's out of the way. Those years are gone. They're gone.
What are you trying to say?
Okay, so you've got... Now let's look at the next 5 years from now to 40. And that's what you're looking at, my friend. You're looking 40 in the eye like I'm looking 50 in the eye. It's true. One day, Kylie's going to be 40. Okay? Right. One day, I'm going to be 70.
I know, that's worrying.
Hopefully.
But do you know what? I'm well aware of this, and in the last year...
Well, I want to see you relaxing more.
I have been. I'm not today, and yet I did an interview yesterday, a press interview, and the poor woman must have thought I was about to throw myself off a building. I was so tired.
You see? They're working into it. Who's that bloke out there with you? Is he the guy from the record company?
Yeah, Kevin.
He looks
He looks
It's all
like a
his
bully.
fault.
He looks like a bully.
He does.
Yeah.
He looks like a bully.
He is
I
a
think
bully.
when you get out, he's going to go, get back to work,
He's
girl.
mean and keen.
Make him give you the rest of the day off. What are you doing the rest of the day? You're doing another interview after this. I know you are.
I'm doing one more, then I've got to go home and go through my lingerie line and
Well, you know,
sign
if
off
we
on
can
that.
assist in any way this afternoon, we
we
have
finish at
a
1.
window in our schedules.
What I was going to say,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so easy to get distracted on this show.
Because we have the attention span of gnats.
Me too. But balance, I've introduced better balance into my life, and it works. It's amazing. If you don't do everything, the world doesn't cave in, and
That's
you
right.
just find a way to make it
You've got to save
Good
a little
for
bit
you.
of me time.
a bit of me time. Me time.
Me time. And what is me time for you? A luxurious soak in a bath? A jacket potato in front of the TV?
Jacket potato and oyster.
Slippers, no makeup, and an old,
Slippers,
sort
bath.
of robe.
And boyfriend.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Obviously not the boyfriend part. The rest of it, I'm with you part of the way. Kylie, lovely to see you again.
You too.
Thank you for coming in. Good
Thanks
luck with
for
this.
having me.
Good luck with GAY next week.
Yeah, I'll think of you. Perhaps you could be there in spirit.
Well, I'm very jealous. Yeah, well, I'm always in GAY in spirit.
Every Saturday night.
No, I'd love to be gay. I just can't get over the man on man thing. That's the problem. You know what I'm very jealous of? I'm jealous that Kylie, there's a TV show in the States which is showing over here on the Living Channel called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, where you get these 5 gay men restyle. Basically, the premise is they take heterosexual men and sort of turn them into human beings.
They give them a makeover.
That's kind of it, yeah. And you're on the album, the CD that
Yeah.
ties in with that. And you performed with them last week, didn't you?
I was on their TV show. At the end of each show, they have hip tips.
Yeah.
And they're all hysterical, particularly Carson.
Carson's the guy who does the styling, the clothes styling, doesn't he?
Yeah. So we worked on how to distress leather, which involves sandpaper, and you rub that on the leather.
You see.
And then I performed at their launch party, which was just as you can imagine, over the top. So they're great.
When
really
does a
great
straight person have the time to worry about distressing their leather? We're distressed enough already.
Oh.
Kylie, love to see you again. Look, take care of yourself. Try and take some time off this year. Okay? If you want me to run interference for you against the bullies from the company, just give us a nod.
You've seen his face.
Oh, yeah, he
He'll
got
be
a bit-
watching you.
I tell you when he looked a bit worried when I said you're getting old. He looked a bit cross with me then. You
No,
could
he's
see
under
he
a
was-
downlight.
Yeah.
That's not good for anyone.
He's looking old himself, isn't he? God dear. Lovely to see you again. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Have a great year ahead, please.
I will.
Plenty of oysters,
Yeah.
jacket potatoes, all that kind of stuff.
Baths and slippers.
And hang around, we've got Jed coming on. You might want to see him.
Will do.
And can I play this track for
Thanks,
Kylie?
Oh, yeah, before you go, Andy wants you to listen to this.
This is a track, a cover by a guy called Jack L, who's an Irish artist, and he does a cover of one of your songs. It's for a children's hospital charity record, and it was on a radio station in Ireland. And I want you to listen to it.
Great.
That's quite serious, Andy, there.
Yeah, listen.
There's sort of threat involved in that.